What did ancient humans actually do all night? No lights, no screens, no warm, safe walls. Just you, the darkness, and 12 empty hours to fill. Picture the world 40,000 years ago. The sun sinks behind the hills, and the darkness that falls is absolute. No streetlights, no glow anywhere on the horizon. A blackness so deep we can barely imagine it today. Out in that dark, predators can see clearly. You cannot even see your own hand. One wrong step could mean death in the black. So what did our ancestors do, hour after hour, night after night, for hundreds of thousands of years? The answer completely rewrites what it means to be human. It begins with the most important tool we ever made, fire. Humans first tamed flame nearly 1 million years ago. By 400,000 years ago, hearths were part of daily life, and fire did far more than cook food. It did more than push the predators back. It stole hours back from the dark itself. Suddenly there were 3 or 4 extra waking hours. Hours with no hunting, no gathering, nothing to produce. Just people, warmth, and dancing firelight. And unlike the harsh glare of our screens today, firelight is warm and dim and gentle. It let the body drift toward sleep on its own. But first, those extra hours had to be filled. And here's where something remarkable happened. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent decades with the Yu'u-Huansi. They were hunter-gatherers in southern Africa. She recorded what they discussed, by day then by night. In daylight, the conversation was practical and tense. 34% was complaints, gossip, and criticism. Another third was pure economics. Food, work, land. Stories made up barely 6% of the day. But at night, around the fire, everything flipped. 81% of firelight talk became pure storytelling. Myths, distant lands, ancestors, spirits, great adventures. The daytime was for surviving. The firelit night was for imagining. But talk was only part of the night. By the fire, hands were rarely ever still. People carved tools and softened stiff animal hides. Mothers and elders taught the children in the glow. Someone always fed the flames to keep them alive. And often there was music, clapping, and dancing. But when did anyone actually sleep? This is where the story gets even stranger. In 2017, scientists studied the Hadza of Tanzania. They still live and sleep in groups of 20 to 30. Researchers fitted sleep trackers onto 33 adults. They recorded more than 220 hours of nights. Then they hunted for one specific moment. A moment when every adult was asleep at once. Across all those nights, how long did it last? 18 minutes in total. For almost every second of the night, someone was awake. Yet no one was ever told to stand guard. It happened all on its own. Because of age, the young stayed up late, like restless night owls. The elders woke long before dawn, like early larks. So grandparents were never a burden on the group. Their light, broken sleep was quietly protecting everyone. Scientists call this the sentinel hypothesis. Your restless grandmother may be doing a very ancient job, and their sleep itself looked nothing like ours. We're told to sleep 8 hours in one solid block, but that may be a surprisingly modern invention. Historian Roger Ekirch searched centuries of forgotten records, diaries, court records, prayer books, private letters. Again and again he found the same odd phrase. People wrote of their first sleep and their second sleep. They slept for a few hours after dark, then woke completely in the dead of night. And this waking was treated as perfectly normal. For an hour or two, they simply lived. They prayed, they talked, they tended the fire. Some visited neighbors, some just lay and thought. Then they sank into a second sleep until dawn. In the 1990s, a scientist put this to the test. He gave volunteers 14 hours of darkness every night. Within weeks, their single block of sleep split in two. First sleep, a calm waking gap, then second sleep. So if you jolt awake at 3 in the morning, certain that something must be wrong with you, maybe nothing is wrong at all. Maybe your body just remembers an older rhythm. There was one last force ruling their nights. Not a clock, not a calendar. The moon. In 2021, researchers tracked hundreds of sleepers, rural villages in Argentina with no electricity at all, and busy college students in the heart of Seattle. Both groups followed the same hidden pattern. It repeated every 29 and a half days. In the nights leading up to a full moon, people went to bed later and slept less, on average up to an hour of lost sleep. Why? Because the rising moon lights the early evening. For our ancestors, that bright light changed everything. It meant safer hours to travel, gather, and hunt. Even the Seattle students who never watched the sky. That ancient pull is still buried inside you tonight. But the most beautiful discovery may be the last. In southern France, archaeologists found flat carved stones, small limestone slabs engraved with horses and deer. They're around 15,000 years old, and something about them puzzled experts for years. So many bore dark scorch marks from fire. Why place delicate artwork right beside open flames? In 2022, a team finally rebuilt the whole scene. They carved faithful replicas and lit a real fire. And in the flickering light, the stone came alive. As the flames danced, the engraved horses began to move, one leg then another, caught in the shifting glow. The animals seemed to gallop across the rock. It was, in a sense, the very first cinema. Ice Age families gathered together in the dark, watching painted animals run through the firelight, tens of thousands of years before movies were born. The same trick may explain the great painted caves, deep chambers where flame was the only light. And that is the real answer to our question. Ancient nights were never empty or wasted time. The dark was not just a danger to survive. It was the space where we became fully human. Fire gave us the hours we never had before. And in those hours, we invented stories, myth, and wonder. Wisner believed those firelight tales built our imagination. They taught us to picture people we would never meet, to hold entire worlds inside a single mind. Almost everything we call culture may have been born after dark. Then we changed the night with one small switch, and most of that ancient world quietly vanished. But not quite all of it. You still gather in the quiet glow of a screen. You still crave a warm light against the dark. You still tell stories to your children before sleep. And some part of you still stirs at 3 a.m., remembering a fire that went out long, long ago.